Madam Mayor, recording has begun.
Even.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our regular town council meeting, January 27th, 2026. I'd like to officially call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Councilman McCormick has provided written notice that he will not be present in accordance with Section 6-8A of the Rules of Procedure. Madam Town Clerk, would you please proceed with the roll call?
Mayor James,
Here?
Councilman Gutenberg,
Here.
Councilman McCormick is absent. Councilman Sampson,
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you all please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Council, if you've had a moment to look at tonight's agenda, I will entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. If not, say nay. All in favor? Aye. No nays, so it passes. Thank you. And tonight we have attached to the agenda is a disclosure of closed session on January 13th, 2026. In accordance with the Maryland Open Meetings Act, annotated Code of Maryland General Provisions, Article Chapter 3-211, we are required to include specific information in the minutes when a public body meets in closed session. To ensure full compliance, we have attached the written statement that includes the reason for closing the meeting, the statutory authority permitting the closed session, a list of topics discussed, the individuals present, and the action taken. This documentation has been made part of the public record to maintain transparency and meet the legal requirements of the Act. And next on the agenda, we have the consent agenda. The consent agenda is designed to approve projects in a single motion that, while very important, do not require council or staff discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we are on to our public comment section. Do I have anybody that would like to speak this evening? Okay, moving on to the next part. It's the state of the municipality. Good evening, council members, distinguished guests, town staff, and most importantly, the residents of La Plata. It is an honor to come before you tonight to deliver the State of the Municipality address. This address is intended to update you, the residents of La Plata, on the condition and direction of our town. It is an opportunity to speak directly about where we are as a town, how we arrived here, and where we are headed, recognizing both the progress we are proud of and the responsibilities that lie ahead. Tonight, I will reflect on the work accomplished in 2025, outline our current fiscal and operational position, and share our strategic priorities for 2026 and beyond. At its core, this year is not about launching change for the sake of change. It is about turning planning into performance, delivering real, measurable improvements in the everyday lives of our residents. It is also a reaffirmation of our commitment to transparency, responsible governance, and meaningful community engagement. The success and direction of La Plata are the result of collective effort. It is driven by the professionalism of our staff, the service of our elected officials, and the continued engagement of our residents. The information and data reflected in this address were prepared by town staff in the course of their regular duties. Tonight's address reflects that shared responsibility and the work that still lies ahead. So the year 2025 was transformative for La Plata. We welcomed new leadership, advanced critical infrastructure projects, strengthened public safety, and celebrated a vibrant, engaged community through numerous successful initiatives. These accomplishments were driven by disciplined governance and leadership, reflected in a structure that is already strengthening town operations and positioning us for continued progress. 4 new council members were sworn into office, bringing fresh perspectives and renewed energy to our deliberative body. Shortly thereafter, we welcomed a new town manager and several key department heads who have already begun making meaningful contributions to our operations. One of the new council's first acts was to pass the fiscal year 26 budget, a fiscally responsible plan that maintains essential services while positioning us for sustainable growth. Sound governance is only as durable as the financial foundation supporting it, and I am proud to report that La Plata's finances remain in excellent order. Our finance department received the prestigious Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for FY26 with special recognition for our long-range operating financial plans. This national recognition affirms that La Plata's budgeting practices meet the highest standards of clarity, accuracy, and transparency. We completed a clean FY25 audit with no material misstatements or findings, a testament to the diligence of our finance team and the sound fiscal management practiced across all departments. Furthermore, we secured favorable low interest rate financing through a USDA loan, providing flexible capital funding while minimizing taxpayer burden. We also established a finance committee to reinforce oversight and sharpen long-term fiscal planning, and we implemented accounts payable automation to improve efficiency and internal controls. These practices protect taxpayer dollars, strengthen long-term planning, and give both this council and future councils the flexibility to make thoughtful, well-informed decisions. Strong finances allow us to invest in the physical backbone of our town, our infrastructure, so that our streets, water systems, and public works meet the needs of today and tomorrow. Our Public Works Department achieved remarkable progress in 2025, touching nearly every corner of our community. Water distribution and stormwater improvements were completed townwide, prioritizing reliability, safety, and regulatory compliance. We replaced an emergency hydrant at the corner of Quailwood Parkway and Port Tobacco Road, and the town's 659 hydrant units were all freshly painted to improve both functionality and visibility. Street paving projects were completed in Wills Park and Glen Albin, with additional streets scheduled for spring completion due to contractor availability and weather conditions. A major milestone was reached with the completion of the Tillman Lake Dam rehabilitation in March, along with the sediment basin and berm construction, safeguarding this treasured community resource for generations to come. Looking beneath the surface, our advanced water metering infrastructure initiative continues to improve system effectiveness, with read health rates now exceeding 90%. This technology provides more accurate consumption data and accelerates response to system issues. We also welcomed new talent to Public Works, including a GIS technician and a new director, while several team members achieved professional certifications and license advancements. One team member was promoted to foreman and supervisor, recognizing exceptional dedication and leadership. These critical investments mean fewer service disruptions, improved emergency response, safer streets, and infrastructure that can support growth without sacrificing reliability. Infrastructure extends beyond roads and pipes. Our wastewater system is a vital component of public health and sustainable development. Our wastewater system remains a critical component of public health and sustainable growth. In 2025, the wastewater treatment plant advanced several major capital projects, including design for the tertiary tank, the Route 6 water line upgrade, and the Southwest Quadrant force main, along with continued planning for system-wide improvements. Looking ahead, upgrades to the Hickory Ridge and Kings Grant pump stations and electrical improvements to well number 11 are planned for 2026. The town will continue working closely with state partners to maintain full compliance with permit requirements while planning responsibly for future capacity needs. Reliable wastewater infrastructure projects help protect public health, support responsible development, and make certain we remain in full regulatory compliance while planning for the future. And speaking of planning for the future, our planning department continues to guide La Plata's growth thoughtfully and strategically. Under the leadership of its new director, the planning department managed ongoing development activity in 2025, reflecting projects already in progress and La Plata's continued appeal as a community for residents of all ages. Throughout the year, the department advanced residential, institutional, and public projects while maintaining a strong focus on orderly growth, infrastructure capacity, and community character. Approved and reviewed projects included senior living communities, single-family and multifamily residential developments, and major public facilities. Significant public sector projects advanced during the year, including the planned expansion of La Plata High School and the long-anticipated Charles County Library, both of which represent substantial investments in education and community services. In support of long-term growth management, the Planning Department prepared a draft adequate public facilities ordinance to ensure that development proceeds in alignment with available infrastructure and services. The Historic Preservation Commission developed a 5-year work plan to guide preservation efforts and conduct a comprehensive survey of historic resources. The Design Review Board continued to review projects to maintain the town's architectural and aesthetic standards. Collectively, these efforts support responsible development while protecting the quality of life, historic character, and service capacity of the town. Finally, I am pleased to note that we made 4 new appointments to the Planning Commission and 1 to the Historic Preservation Commission, providing for continued citizen engagement in shaping our community's future. Growth brings opportunity, but it also brings responsibility. And our focus remains on managing development in a way that protects services, neighborhoods, and the character of La Plata. Responsible growth depends on strong oversight, and our code enforcement team plays a central role in holding homes and businesses to the standards our residents expect. In 2025, the team conducted 6,483 building inspections through our contracted agencies to verify compliance with safety standards. They identified and resolved 199 property maintenance violations and inspected 41 commercial properties, efforts that directly support public safety and neighborhood quality. A heightened focus on fire safety resulted in the corrective action of 14 violations, including hazard material storage and fire exits. Code enforcement also worked closely with the fire department and the police departments on joint inspections, demonstrating the value of coordinated cross-department collaboration. Strong, consistent code enforcement protects property values, public safety, and the quality of life residents expect in their neighborhoods. While code enforcement safeguards our neighborhoods, our public safety team works every day to keep residents safe in all aspects of daily life. Under the leadership of our new chief of police, the La Plata Police Department demonstrated strong operational performances in 2025, marked by measurable reductions in crime, continued progress towards professional accreditation, and sustained community engagement. Department personnel also received recognition from both the state of Maryland and the International Association of Chiefs of Police, reflecting excellence in service and professionalism. Crime declined across several key categories, including notable reductions in burglaries and aggravated assault. These outcomes reflect effective deployment strategies, proactive policing, and consistent supervisory oversight. Operational capacity was further strengthened through targeted technology and equipment upgrades that improved investigative effectiveness, data management, and evidence handling. The department successfully completed external audits and advanced its accreditation process, reinforcing adherence to nationally recognized professional standards. Preparation for full reaccreditation will continue in 2026. Community engagement remained a core component of the department's mission, with events and outreach efforts strengthening trust and collaboration between officers and residents. Together, these efforts reflect a balanced approach to public safety, one that prioritizes prevention, accountability, and strong community partnerships. These outcomes reflect a police department focused not just on enforcement, but on prevention, accountability, and strong relationships with the community it serves. And behind every effective department is a resilient, well-supported team. In 2025, our Human Resource Department focused on strengthening both our organization and the people who serve it. All town hall vacancies were filled, and targeted efforts continued in Public Works and the wastewater treatment plant, including internal promotions that supported career development and succession planning. HR partnered with departments to align organizational structures with service delivery and provided leadership coaching focused on consistency, accountability, and communication. Professional development remained a priority, with the HR director completing workplace investigations certification and renewing multiple professional credentials. New benefits were introduced, including pet insurance and long-term care insurance, the latter positioning employees ahead of anticipated state mandates while offering coverage that would otherwise be too difficult to obtain. HR is also reviewing retirement plan options to maintain competitive investments and reasonable fees while working with its brokers on a medical and prescription drug market review to provide strong, cost-effective coverage. A stable, well-supported workforce translates directly into better service, institutional knowledge, and continuity for residents. Human Resources provides the foundation that enables legislative services to advance numerous initiatives connecting the town with its residents and businesses while promoting transparency, engagement, and community identity. The La Plata Farmers Market conducted its 48th season, maintaining its position as a tourism destination, a community hub, and a driver of small business growth. Several market vendors expanded into brick and mortar locations, emphasizing the market's role as a business incubator. Keep La Plata Beautiful played a central role in advancing environmental stewardship and community involvement. The organization sponsored the inaugural Paint the Town with Pollinators event in partnership with regional conservation groups, while volunteers contributed hundreds of hours to native plantings and maintenance at the Bird City Pocket Park. Monthly litter cleanups and engagement at major town events promoted sustainable practices that support our Bird City, Maryland, Bee City, USA, Tree City, USA, and Sustainable Maryland certifications. On Small Business Saturday, following the transition of the La Plata Business Association, Keep La Plata Beautiful stepped forward to support downtown businesses. In collaboration with a local studio, A passport program encouraged residents to shop locally by visiting retail establishments, restaurants, and the farmers market. Participating businesses donated more than $100 in prizes. Strike that, $1,000 in prizes reflecting the strength and generosity of our business communities. A significant legislative achievement was the adoption of Ordinance 26-10, establishing tourism zones. It's the first one of its kind in all of Maryland. This collaborative effort among planning, legislative services, and administration provides incentives to qualified tourism businesses and support growth in tourism-related enterprises. Legislative services also continued digitizing town records to improve accessibility and streamline public information requests while advancing ADA compliance across town platforms. Finally, I had the great pleasure of presenting 10 town seals for business grand opening and milestone anniversaries, recognizing the organizations and entrepreneurs who contribute to La Plata's identity and economic strength. These initiatives by legislative services reinforce transparency, support local businesses, and preserve the identity and accessibility of our town. A vibrant town isn't only defined by rules and ordinances, but also by the traditions and events that bring neighbors together. Community programs and events continue to play an important role in strengthening civic pride and social connection throughout 2025. The town hosted a full calendar of free, family-friendly events that encourage participation across generations and backgrounds. A standout example was the Summer Concert Series, now in its third decade, which remains extraordinarily popular. The final concert, featuring the dual pianos, drew approximately 1,000 attendees, making it one of the largest single community gatherings of the summer. The series showcased diverse musical genres, rotating food vendors that supported local businesses, and a welcoming atmosphere praised by residents of all ages. Seasonal celebrations, cultural programs, and long-standing traditions brought families together and neighbors together in a shared public space, reinforcing a strong sense of belonging and community identity. Consistently high attendance and positive public feedback show that these events are more than just entertainment. They are investments in the social and cultural well-being of our community, and their continued success reflects a healthy, engaged, and connected town. As we progress through fiscal year 2026, we are implementing strategic initiatives across all departments that will enhance service delivery, improve efficiency, and position La Plata for sustainable success. The Finance Department will acquire a comprehensive budgeting platform to strengthen departmental budget preparation, improve capital planning, expand forecasting capabilities, and provide an interactive public-facing budget component, furthering our commitment to transparency. We are also pursuing a new billing and payment platform to consolidate all town billing into a single system and provide more cost-effective payment processing options for residents and customers. Public Works will continue advancing the advanced metering infrastructure initiative with a goal of achieving at least 95% system read health. The meter node upgrade project is approximately 1/3 complete and will continue throughout the year. Our geographic information systems initiatives will transform how we manage assets and communicate with residents. The Water and Sewer Review Platform, launched in December, centralizes field data and improves asset positioning. A hydrant maintenance platform expected in February will automate inspection reporting and support improved budget planning. An interactive trash collection map expected in March will provide residents with an easy-to-use web tool for identifying collection schedules. Hydrant maintenance and replacement will continue with contracted work to complete the remaining units by spring. The lead and copper rule improvements initiative supports continued compliance with state requirements and the delivery of safe drinking water. The second annual customer notifications were issued in December. The Maryland Route 6 water main upgrade is coordinated with the State Highway Administration's road improvement project, and it has reached 60% design submission. 5 stormwater projects are in progress: Redwood Lake, Quailwood, Agricopia, Morris Drive, and Caroline Drive. Design and permitting are complete for all projects, with construction contracts and easement dedications moving forward. Our WaterCAD model, which is a digital simulation of the town's water distribution system, will be completed during the first quarter of 2026. This powerful tool enables systems analysis, fire flow evaluation, identification of deficiencies, assessments of development impacts, and long-term planning to maintain adequate system capacity and pressure. The Wills Park Playground upgrade will provide an updated, safe, and ADA accessible playground consistent with our strategic plan and Parks and Recreation Comprehensive Plan. Code enforcement will continue to strengthen cross-department collaboration, refine internal processes to improve efficiency, and address emerging issues such as new building technologies and sustainable codes. Intensified public outreach will include increased attendance at community events and HOA meetings to educate residents on codes and property maintenance. The department will promote the online citizen request tracker, making it easier for residents to submit concerns. The police department will install and operationalize the town camera system, improving both crime prevention and investigative capability. The transition to a cloud-based records management system will increase accessibility, collaboration, and data security. The department will undergo its CALIA on-site assessment in March with full reaccreditation anticipated in July, maintaining the highest standards of professional excellence. Community engagements events will continue, including the 3rd annual Autism Car Show and the return of the Kent Avenue Block Party, reinforcing the strong relationship between our police department and the community it serves. HR will prioritize development of a modern performance evaluation system to support clearer expectations, stronger coaching, and improved accountability. The department is evaluating the need for a comprehensive compensation study to support internal equity and market competitiveness, along with a complete modernization of job descriptions. The digital accessibility team, including HR representatives, have recurring meetings scheduled for April 2027 compliance deadline. The employee handbook has been completed and shared with the leadership team. Following council's approval, which we will see this evening, it will be distributed through our human resource information system, with all employees acknowledging receipt. Several transformative projects will advance in 2026. Safety upgrades along Charles Streets will continue through our ongoing collaboration with Maryland State Highway Administration. Our work with local businesses, the county, and the state, they're bringing the Plata bike pathway closer to reality, improving and promoting healthy lifestyles and supporting alternative transportation. New public art, made possible by the creativity of local businesses and residents, will become visible in our downtown area in 2026, adding vibrancy and character to our streetscape. While these initiatives move La Plata forward operationally, their success ultimately depends on the people we serve and those who choose to be involved in our community. The achievements outlined tonight were made possible by the dedication of our town staff, the vision of our council, and most importantly, the engagement of our residents. A thriving community depends on active participation. So I encourage you to consider serving on our boards, commissions, and committees, from Planning Commission and Historic Preservation to the Design Review Board, Keep La Plata Beautiful, Parks and Recreation, and many others. Your perspective, expertise, and passion help shape our town in a meaningful way. Those interested in volunteering are encouraged to contact the Director of Legislative Service or any of your council members. We also welcome you to attend council meetings. Thank you for those that are here tonight. Participate in public comment and stay engaged through our website, newsletter, and social media. Your input strengthens our decision-making and keeps town government responsive. Businesses are the backbone of this town. If your business has a milestone anniversary approaching, please reach out to us so we can help celebrate your achievement. We really take pride in recognizing those who contribute to La Plata's economic vitality. Before I close, and I'm getting close, I must express profound gratitude to those who make La Plata's success possible, to our town manager and the entire leadership team. Thank you. Thank you for your strategic vision, countless hours of work, steady leadership, and patience in guiding this organization forward. Your dedication does not go unnoticed. To every town employee, whether maintaining our infrastructure, supporting public safety, processing permits, or managing our finances, your professionalism, hard work, and daily commitment are the foundation of this community. And again, we recognize your efforts. And to my fellow council members, thank you for your service, commitment, and your leadership on behalf of our residents. And to our residents, thank you for your engagement, your feedback, your unwavering community spirit. You make La Plata not just a place to live, but a place to call home. As we progress through 2026, our focus is clear. This is the year we turn planning into performance, where policies become practice, investments produce results, and long-term thinking delivers everyday reliability for our residents. La Plata honors its past while embracing innovation. We manage growth responsibly, govern with transparency and fiscal discipline, and remain committed to the public good. The challenges before us are real, but so is our determination, our capable workforce, and our collective spirit. Together, we will continue building a La Plata that is safe, vibrant, and fiscally sound. A town that welcomes all, a place where businesses thrive, families flourish, and possibilities grow. May 2026 be a year of continued progress, shared prosperity, and a stronger community. And this concludes the State of the Municipality address. Now, on to matters of council discussion. Mr. Stevens, all yours.
All right. Good evening, councilors. I'm Chuck Stevens, your town manager. Your first item this evening is a conversation about the revised employee handbook. So by way of background, the town's employee handbook has not been comprehensively updated since 2013. Since that time, numerous federal and state employment laws have changed, necessitating revisions to ensure the handbook reflects current legal requirements and expanded employee rights. The existing document also contains provisions that are incomplete or unclear, which creates the potential for confusion and inconsistent application. Additionally, as the town has grown and operational practices have evolved, certain day-to-day procedures no longer align with the policies currently reflected in the handbook. This matter is presented to the town council because Town Code 37-6 requires council approval of personnel rules and regulations. The primary stakeholders are all town employees, and the updated handbook is intended to provide clear, consistent standards so employees understand both the expectations of their roles and the policies that govern employment within the town. The fiscal impact. There's no direct fiscal impact associated with the update of the employee handbook, as it was developed and revised internally using staff resources. The only cost incurred was employee time dedicated to drafting, reviewing, and editing the document. In addition to the town's risk management partner, Legit reviewed the handbook at no charge as part of the town's contracted services. Adoption of the updated handbook is expected to reduce organizational risk by clearly defining employment practices, expectations, and decision-making standards, which supports consistent applications and strengthens compliance. In your packet, you can read the alignment with our strategic plan, our sustainability and ADA considerations. And of course, your recommended action this evening, Council, is to adopt Resolution 26-11, the Town of La Plata Employee Handbook, for the purpose of repealing the personnel rules and regulations of the Town of La Plata as adopted August 2013 and adopting a new comprehensive employee handbook and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stevens. I know this has been a long time coming, and it has been thoroughly vetted and gone through. And I love that you were able to put your eyes on this as well, to see it from a different perspective too. I will open it up for comments from council. Councilman Gutenberg?
I'll just say that it's a solid update, really comprehensive, and I think the new sections that are in there are interesting. The AI policy is interesting, and I think this is going to be really good for the town. I look forward to passing this later tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Sam?
Yep, I want to thank the town manager for leading on this effort, and for the department heads and everybody else and the staff who put in the effort for this. I think it's a good job.
Thank you.
Councilman Chuck?
No comment.
Okay, wonderful. So I am looking for consensus from council to move this forward. Councilman Gutenberg?
Yes.
Councilman Sampson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. We will see this later on legislation. Brings us to our next matter, which is fiscal year 26 budget amendment. Mr. Stevens?
Yeah, and the nomenclature on this one's a little confusing because yes, it is a budget amendment, but it's actually zero fiscal impact because it's a neutral change to the budget that we're presenting for council's consideration this evening. This initiative originated as a change in the police department's leadership and organizational planning tied to succession needs and the evolving supervisory structure within the agency. Specifically, the police department identified the need to realign 2 command level positions to better reflect current operational responsibilities and span of control by reclassifying 1 captain position to lieutenant and reclassifying a 2nd captain position to major. So there were 2 captain positions, 1 went up 1 and 1 went down 1. That's what's resulting in the neutral impact on the budget. In accordance with section 37-5 of the town code, which reads, by ordinance, the town council shall approve, establish, modify, or abolish all positions or classes of positions. This reclassification is presented for council's approval. The fiscal impact, this initiative was effectively funded within the current budget structure, as the adopted budget assumed 3 captain positions, and the revised structure will consist of 1 major, 1 captain, and 1 lieutenant. Because 1 position is being reclassified upward, captain to major, and 1 position is being reclassified downward, captain to lieutenant, the net fiscal impact is budget neutral overall. Each role is separated by 1 pay grade. Lieutenant is the L14, captain is the L15, and major is the L16, with an approximate 7.5% differential between grades. However, the offsetting nature of the 2 reclassifications results in a net zero change to the police command staffing budget. For the current fiscal year, costs are further minimized because the captain position associated with the upward reclassification has been vacant due to the incumbent's promotion to acting chief, then chief due to the vacancy. The reclassified lieutenant position will be filled through an internal promotion process, so no recruiting or external hiring costs are anticipated. This initiative does not create long-term new expenses beyond standard compensation adjustments already contemplated within the existing pay grade structure. From a long-term sustainability perspective, the proposed structure is intended to be maintainable within the town's established pay grade framework and existing authorized staffing levels, supporting longer-term continuity and supervision and succession planning without adding staffing positions or creating ongoing structural cost growth. Your recommended action this evening is to adopt ordinance 26-02, amendment to the Town of La Plata fiscal year 2026 financial plan budget, approving the proposed reclassification of 1 captain position to lieutenant and 1 captain position to major as presented. And the police chief is here this evening. If you have questions behind the reasoning behind this change, I'm sure Chief Norris would be happy to come up and answer those questions for you.
Thank you. I'm going to start down. Councilman Johnson, do you have any comments?
No comments.
No comments? All right. Councilman Sampson?
None.
Councilman Goodberg?
No, this makes sense. I appreciate the process.
I have no comments either. I just wanted that for the records, because that never happened. All right, so I'm looking for a consensus to move this forward to legislation. Councilman Gutenberg,
Yes.
Councilman Sampson,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. We'll see this in just a little bit. Which brings us to our next part, is the Wills Memorial Park Playground Project.
All right, council. The Wills Memorial Park is the town's largest park facility, includes a public playground. The existing playground has reached the end of its useful life, contains damaged and missing equipment, presents safety concerns, and does not meet current Americans with Disabilities Act accessibility standards or provide inclusive play opportunities. Approval of this contract supports the town's commitments to providing high-quality parks and open spaces and aligns with the town's strategic goals and the Parks and Recreation Comprehensive Master Plan. The fiscal impact on this one is significant. I'm sure you noticed that in your packet. And I just want to be clear that while staff is bringing this forward and recommending, if council's not comfortable with the budget amendment that the staff is seeking this evening, there are alternatives, and I'll be happy to answer those when we get to the questions. So in accordance with the town's procurement policy, staff issued a request for proposal on November 7th, 2025. 7 proposals were received on December 18th. Bliss Products and Services, Inc. was selected as the preferred contractor based on several evaluation criteria, including ability to meet proposal requirements, firm and team qualifications and experience, initial design, pricing, and project completion plan. The FY 2026 capital budget originally appropriated $400,000 for this project. However, the proposals received exceeded this amount with an average estimated cost of approximately $769,000. The total contract amount with Bliss Products and Services is $834,889.38. Approval of this contract will require a reappropriation of $434,890 from the general fund unassigned fund balance. A budget amendment will be necessary should the Parks Department budget end the fiscal year in a deficit. Your recommended action this evening, council, is to adopt resolution 26-10, authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract agreement with Bliss Products and Services, Inc., and authorizing the required CIP budget and adjustment of $434,889 to fully fund the Wills Memorial Park Playground construction project. And I'm happy to answer questions, and the town treasurer, Ms. Larson, is also present as well.
Wow. I did not realize that playground equipment was so expensive, but that beautiful park has not had an upgrade in a very long time. And I guess if you want quality equipment, you've got to pay the price on it. So thank you for you and your team for having so many proposals go out there. If that's the price of it, that's the price of it. So that's we have money that I'm going to call it ARPA money, but I know it's not ARPA money anymore. Do we have any that has been unused other than the Dorchester Community Center that might be able to be applied to this?
I would tell council, we can answer that question directly. The answer is going to be yes, but I would tell council, I wouldn't worry about the money. I know it's your job to provide oversight of funds, but I think it's more important that council give us your policy direction, and then the staff will go and find out exactly where we'll get the funds from within the general fund reserves. So we'll answer your question about what was formerly ARPA dollars, and the treasurer can do that. Now, whether or not we actually use those funds, that is a tool at our disposal. And as the staff report indicated, I mean, in this case, it's entirely likely that the Parks Department will end in a deficit, and we will have to do a budget amendment. But sometimes when we bring budget amendments in front of you, we say may require a budget amendment because we don't know throughout the course of the year how a department budget is going to end up. And sometimes we don't need a budget amendment. I think in this case we will. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Larson.
So there were a set of projects that were originally going to be used for the opera funds. Instead, we've changed it and used those opera funds to cover salaries and benefits. There is an assigned fund balance that is set up to still use those funds for those original projects. If the council chooses to use them for something else, there would be some consensus that needs to be done to use those funds for some other projects. We do have funds that have not been used, but it will be up to the councils to make that choice.
Okay. Councilman Gutenberg.
Yeah, so here's my question. For first of all, the project I think is excellent. I'm very much in favor of this project. My question is more around the process of how we're looking at specifically the amenities projects in the capital improvement plan. And so there's a number of them, and I think that we likely will not be, and I'm just projecting this, right? But I think that it is likely that we will have choices to make. We all know that we will not be able to have everything, right? And so my question is really around the process of this, is the context of just the amenities capital improvement kind of things, right? Like, so we've already had a presentation from the HPC on some desires, Parks and Recreation, and I know there's others that have been in the capital improvement plan that haven't been done. It is the process of making this choice going to make more sense to us as a group and the public at large if we assess them as a group and in March when we approve the whole thing, so that we can see the context of where they all are prioritized. But I asked this question with one more caveat, right? This is a playground. It is winter time. If we don't do this tonight, does this mean a season of not using it? Because is there a level of urgency with this in that the town would likely have access to this badly needed upgraded amenity if we were to approve this tonight and work out the budget pieces later versus waiting till March?
Yes, sir. So you asked two questions. I'll start with your second question first. So I do think that there is a sense of urgency here. I think the contract was going to have this project completed summer of 26. I don't remember exactly the timeline. So if we were to push a decision on the matter into March, that would push the completion of a project out probably into the fall. So, and I know that there's a desire to get this project done. I mean, that's been made clear to me in the short time that I've been here, that there's a desire to get this done. To your first question, one little nuance is that there's money in this budget. So there's already $400,000. If this were a budget amendment of, $50,000, we would probably not be having this conversation. So this $400,000 is in this 2026 budget. The projects that you're talking about don't have a line item in this budget. They don't have any funds, allocated to them right now. They'll be starting from scratch. So if this project doesn't move forward within this budget, people will like to say money rolls over. Well, money doesn't roll over. Every budget starts new. It's a new day, right? And all the money goes back into the general fund and then we start from scratch. So if the project doesn't move forward, and I did tease earlier that there are other things we could do. So if council's not comfortable with this budget amendment at this price point, we can always rescope the project and go back out for bid, start a new proposal process, scale it back and see what we get. My concern with that though, and complete transparency with the council, when I saw the bids come in, that was my first response when I heard of the amount was, well, we'll rescope and go back out and we'll get it back down closer to budget. But then when you look at the bids and you get 7 and the average is almost double what was in our budget, that was a miss on the budget, right? I mean, I'll just be frank, right? That was a miss on the budget because we completely undershot where this project was going to come in at. So that's why instead of just rescoping it and going back out without bringing this to council, I did decide to bring this to council this evening.
Okay. All right. For me, right, I think I would prioritize this personally very high on the list of what I know we still have to rack and stack. And given the context you just explained about the timing of this, I feel a sense of urgency as well then. I think it's a big difference if we're going to commit resources to this, to have it this year when it can still be used by the public, maximize that use. I think I would lean towards, going ahead and doing this. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Yes, I just had a few questions for the town treasurer. So one, this would be a one-time expense, correct?
Yes, but then you also have the maintenance, but we have maintenance costs anyways.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you feel comfortable that all the maintenance costs, the recurring costs, we could manage that?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. It's not going to increase the maintenance costs.
Okay, and then the last question I had, whether we do this or not, we will probably expect a deficit in Parks and Rec. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You said whether we do this or not. No, if we don't do it, we will not have a deficit in the Parks and Rec Department. No.
Yeah, that's correct. If we don't do it, there won't be a deficit.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes, thank you. So first, thank you to Kirsten and the team for the work that's been done with getting this bid in front of us. So to go back to you real quick, Councilman Gutenberg, I think the way I had a conversation with Councilman Gutenberg, the project reserve is what is labeled on EFOV, correct?
No, this is coming out of the unassigned fund balance. The project reserve was for those original projects that had ARPA funds allocated to that were not used there.
Right. So
And that's an internal assigned account based on council's direction.
yeah, the extra money will be unassigned, but right now, currently in the capital improvement plan is like the Firehouse Museum, some stormwater management. The amphitheater is labeled as project reserves.
Correct.
So I think where you was getting at is where do we rank those to see like where the priority is and making sure those funds are dedicated to those projects, minus the public infrastructure like the stormwater. I don't think that is a priority. I don't see us bumping that for the amphitheater or a playground. So I think that's where you were getting at is bring those back together and what is council's priority for funding those three? Obviously, it's a priority because it's in the budget, but as we think about what those projects look like, I think that's where he was getting at. So I don't know. I think you threw March out there, but is that something we still want to do or should we just?
I mean, really the choice is, right, is if we're going to proceed with this, if we think we're going to proceed with this either way, whether we look at it tonight or we look at it in the larger group, the difference is if we look at it in the larger grouping, we are going to hold up the start of construction on this such that we will lose the summertime access for the public, and then it just goes in and probably by the fall at best.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm thinking in terms of like, to your point earlier, Ms. Larson, like, do council want to rethink what the project reserves look like?
You guys can make that decision when we do make the budget amendment. If
Okay.
you want to choose to use that assigned project reserve for something else, you can make that decision when we do the budget amendment.
So I think Mr. Stevens will be helpful if some of these projects are probably not going to get underway by July. Do we have that the budget conversation in March, on March 17th, or whenever you bring capital in front? Like, is this something the town is still inclined to move forward with? And that way, it might not be a budget amendment, and those project reserves will cover the cost of the playground.
It would still be a budget amendment.
Well, sorry, yeah, still, it won't be because we're taking from unassigned. Yes, you're correct. Thank you.
Just moved it from one expense account to another.
Yes, yes. And I recognize it's a healthy expense. However, I do appreciate staff work with getting this forward. Wills Park is used heavily, a lot. I live right across the street from it. It's used. It had not been used, I think, since we got sworn in because of the damaged equipment. And I think something that council should look at later, that's agenda item in March, is just fully upgrading the basketball court and the tennis court to associate with the whole upgrade project of Wills Park. So that's a later conversation, but I think I know where you was going at with terms of like the step outs of the capital improvement plan, not necessarily the stormwater management improvements.
Thank you. And I know that the biggest expense is actually making it ADA compatible with the the flooring. It will cut down on maintenance because we're not putting out the mulch and we're not having to do anything of that sort. But that is, I initially when I saw this, I was thinking, okay, put it in phases. But the biggest chunk of expense is the ground, the grounding on that. And would it even behoove us to do that? Because sometimes it really does get kicked down the road and it never does get finished. It is an expense. It is a high expense, but I think it's also something that is very needed because there is not a park in that area on that side of town. So that is something that we need to look at. So what I'm looking at from council tonight is a consensus to move it forward to legislation. So Councilman Gutenberg,
Yes.
Councilman Sampson,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. All right, thank you very much. And then our last matter under council discussion is the appointment of the town attorney. Mr. Stevens.
Okay, all right, council. The town of La Plata currently operates under a 6-month professional services agreement with special counsel, which commenced on August 1st, 2025. This temporary arrangement was established to ensure continuity of legal services while the town evaluates its long-term legal counsel needs. In accordance with Town Charter, Section C9-2, the mayor, with the approval of the council, may appoint a town attorney who shall be a member of the bar of the Maryland Court of Appeals and shall serve as the legal advisor to the town. The town conducted a process to identify qualified legal counsel to serve in this critical role. The evaluation considered firms' municipal law experience, availability to provide timely legal advice, knowledge of Maryland municipal law, and cost structure. Alexander and Cleaver, a well-established law firm located in Oxon Hill, Maryland, was selected based on their extensive experience in municipal law, familiarity with local government operations in Maryland, and their team-based approach to providing legal services. Todd Pounds, a principal attorney with Alexander and Cleaver, has been identified to serve as town attorney. Mr. Pounds is in good standing in the state of Maryland and possesses significant experience in municipal legal matters. The firm's engagement letter dated January 14th, 2026, outlines the terms of representation, including hourly billing rates, scope of services, and professional standards that will govern the attorney-client relationship. Under the proposed arrangement, Alexander and Cleaver will provide comprehensive municipal legal services, including advisory opinions, ordinance and resolution review, contract review and drafting, attendance at town council meetings as needed, litigation management, and general legal counsel to town staff and elected officials. The firm utilizes a team approach with a principal attorney serving as the primary contact while allowing for specialized expertise from other attorneys within the firm as circumstances require. This appointment ensures essential legal services to town operations, confirming that council decisions, town actions, and policy initiatives receive proper legal review and guidance. Consistent access to qualified legal counsel supports informed decision-making, regulatory compliance, risk management, and protection of the town's interests. The fiscal impact, the town attorney position is budgeted annually within the town's adopted budget. Legal services will be provided on an hourly basis at a rate of $200 per hour for attorney time and will be billed in quarter-hour increments. In addition to hourly fees for legal services, the town will be responsible for reimbursement of out-of-pocket costs, including court filing fees, service of process fees, expert witness fees, deposition costs, mileage, copying, and other similar expenses incurred in providing legal representation. Monthly itemized billing statements will detail the nature and scope of services provided, charges billed to the town's account, and applicable billing rates. This billing structure provides transparency and allows for regular monitoring of legal services expenditures against budget allocations. The hourly rate structure is consistent with market rates for municipal legal services in the region and provides flexibility to scale services based on town needs. Ongoing fiscal impact will depend on the complexity and volume of legal matters requiring attention, but is anticipated to remain within historical expenditure levels for legal services. Any significant unanticipated legal matters requiring substantial resources will be brought to council's attention through the normal budget amendment process. The firm shall have 90-day advance notice should it wish to terminate the attorney-client relationship. And then your recommended action this evening is to adopt Resolution 26-09 upon nomination by the mayor to appoint Todd K. Pounds of Alexander and Cleaver Professional Association to serve as town attorney in accordance with Town Charter C9-2 and the Town Code, subject to the terms and conditions outlined in the firm's engagement letter dated January 14th, 2026, effective January 28th, 2026. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Gutenberg.
I don't have any particular question. I'm just looking forward to the beginning of this new relationship, and I think it represents a good value for the town, and it's something that we very badly need. So this is good progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sampson.
Yes, I'd like to say, I think that Madam Mayor did an excellent job on this. I think based on all the constraints that we had, I'm pleased, and I think the town should be pleased.
Wonderful. Councilman Johnson.
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. So my first action is to see if you accept the terms of this contract, right, to move it forward?
Or you nominate.
nominate?
Yeah.
So I would like to, thank you. I knew you'd catch me on that, but I don't have my other notes in front of me. I would like to formally nominate Alexander and Cleaver in accordance with our charter to serve as our town attorney, with the point of contact being Todd Pounds. So now we have to look for an exception of the nominations. So Councilman Gutenberg,
Yes.
Councilman Sampson,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you. Now I'm looking for consensus to move this forward to legislation. Councilman Gutenberg.
Yes.
Councilman Sampson,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. All right. Thank you, Councilman Johnson, because you are the rules there, and you got me on that one. I appreciate that very much. All right, next on our agenda is going into legislation. Ordinance 26-01 is for introduction only.
All right, council. Ordinance 26-01, Town of La Plata Employee Handbook. This is your first reading. It's for introduction only. It's an ordinance concerning the Town of La Plata Employee Handbook for the purpose of rescinding the personnel rules and regulations of the Town of La Plata as adopted August 2013 and adopting a new comprehensive employee handbook and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much. And next, ordinance 2602 for introduction only.
Okay, this is ordinance 26-02, amendment of the fiscal year 2026 financial plan budget, first reading for introduction only. This is an ordinance concerning amendment to the Town of La Plata fiscal year 2026 financial plan / budget for the purpose of amending the Town of La Plata fiscal year 2026 financial plan / budget to reflect a realignment of the La Plata Police Department and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you. And next is resolution 26-10, Wills Memorial Park.
Okay, resolution 26-10, Wills Memorial Park Playground for introduction and consideration of adoption. This is a resolution concerning Wills Memorial Park Playground for the purpose of authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract for the purpose and installation of playground equipment at Wills Memorial Park and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much. And I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to resolution 26-09.
All right, resolution 26-09, appointment of town attorney for introduction and consideration of adoption. A resolution concerning appointment of the town attorney for the purpose of appointing Todd K. Pounds as town attorney and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution 26-09.
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And that brings us down to new business, reports from the mayor and town council. Councilman Gutenberg.
All right. Well, tonight I will be, I'm sure, more brief than you are, Madam Mayor.
Oh, ouch.
It's not easy to do, but I will do that tonight. So tonight, I just want to I want to talk briefly about a couple of things. This was a really nice week, the past week for me to experience both the 31st annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Prayer Breakfast that the NAACP put on. That was a really great event. It was the first time I had attended and went with members of the council, and it was really interesting being in that room, listening to folks talk about the things that they're doing, the urgency of now, and meeting folks who are preparing to run for office, people who are in office, people who are engaged in the community in various activities. And it was inspiring to listen to everybody talk there and to be with people who are out doing things and interacting and doing things. And I bring that up because in the same week as well, we had in here on Thursday night, we had our training session for boards and commissions, and Councilman Sampson and Councilman Johnson were both here with me as well on that night. But seeing everybody in this room, it was really neat. Sitting in the back row where I was sitting in the center, looking and seeing this room just filled with people who are on our boards and commissions, it really just struck me. Look at all of the folks that are in this room are really like, this is the fulcrum of engagement in our community all in one room. It was just neat to see. And it was neat to see the energy in the room and the side conversations that were breaking out in different spots. And it was inspiring. I really liked it. And staff did a really great job. It was really, I just felt really great being in the room with everybody. And I would say to folks, you know, if you know, the times are trying and you want to be involved, get involved here, right? This is a place where you can do stuff. That's a room full of people you can reach out to us. There's still vacancies out there on boards and commissions, and what a great way to just participate in civil discourse on issues and learn and grow in the community where you live, and you can actually, you know, make some things happen. So with that's my pitch for involvement in some of those vacancies for folks, and I'll just leave it there tonight.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Councilman Freeman.
Yes, to echo Councilman Gutenberg, I want to thank Town Manager and Director of Legislative Affairs for the boards and committees function. I thought that was excellent. I thought it was informative. I got a lot of positive feedback. So thanks a lot. Also, I want to thank the Town Manager and Director of Public Works for the snow removal efforts out in Steeplechase today. I did have a lot of feedback. Some of the residents were bothered this morning when they first woke up, but by midday they were all calling me and emailing me, and so they were very thankful about that. So I did tell at least 3 of them personally that I would relay the message. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson.
No comments from me tonight.
Okay. But I do have comments, so I will, you're going to yield your time to me? Thank you so much. First of all, I want to start off with, before I go into my report, thank you to the town, Public Works, to the police department, to the town manager for getting us through this storm. The ice was the worst part about it, and I know there are so many people out there that are still having to shovel out. I don't even want to say shovel out. It's more like axe picks out there. Mr. Stevens, you were very responsive on when I sent a couple of complaints or observations, maybe. You were right on it. And so thank you to our hardworking staff. It was quite a weekend. And from what I understand, we may get part 2 coming up this weekend. So, you know, we were in our homes nice and warm while our police were out there, our public works were out there. So thank you very much to that. Yes, go ahead.
If I could, Madam Mayor, and thank you for the indulgence, but I do want to just highlight what you're referencing here. And our team works 24-hour operations starting on Saturday to get out because we wanted to be proactive. We don't want to get caught off guard and behind. Now, that said, we know that there are places that we still need to hit harder with some salt and get some salt out there. We've got some iced over roads. And so we know that we're appreciative of the work that's done, but we know that there's still some work to do to get some cleanup done. And I would just say, if anybody's got an issue somewhere we've missed or somewhere we need to come back and do better, just reach out to us and we'll get the Public Works crew out there first thing in the morning. So
Thank you very much. Last week, I had the opportunity to visit the 4th grade class over at Grace Lutheran, and I gave them a spelling test. So that was a lot of fun to go in there. It was the celebrity guest. So I was a celebrity for all of about 20 minutes. So I'll take it. MLK prayer breakfast. Thank you to Councilman Gutenberg and Councilman Johnson for attending too. And the chief was there and Captain Payne. It was just really, the speeches that they gave were so enlightening, and it's how we all can do better by working together. I went to an economic development advisory board meeting. I sit on that board, and it's with so many people throughout the county that talk about how we can get the economy kind of up and running here by supporting businesses. So that was very impactful. And then I participated in the Chamber of Commerce Board meeting as a community representative, updating what's happening in La Plata, and then listening to how the chamber is really trying to help the businesses. They start the legislative session that has started. We have our first meeting. I serve on the legislative board for that, and we go through a lot of bills to see how these bills, if there's any that we write in support of or against, that support the businesses, how they impact our businesses. So this is the 90 days that is really a busy time of year for that. And I also participated in the Tri-County Council. They had a meeting. We were up in Annapolis. They put an elected official from municipalities on this board 2 years ago. It was actually signed by the government, and I'm it to begin with. So it is really neat to see people from 3 counties to what they're doing and how we can all work together. Tomorrow is point in time survey with the lifestyles, and it is supposed to be a high of like 22 degrees. And this is where people within the community go out and actually survey if there are any homeless encampments or people living out in this weather. So please, if you are able to help them, support them in any way that you can. That's a heavy lift for them. And our next meeting is February 10th. So I hope to see everyone there. Yes.
And one more thing, Madam Mayor, if I can, before you close the meeting, the Assistant Town Manager, Michelle Miner, just reminded me that trash pickup did not occur today because Charles County landfill was closed, but the landfill is scheduled to be open tomorrow, so trash service will resume tomorrow.
Great. And so tomorrow, what happens to the people on a Monday and Tuesday?
Okay, everybody shifts 2 days to the right. So if your normal trash was Monday, you shift to Wednesday. If your normal trash was Tuesday, you shift to Thursday.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And with that, I officially adjourn the meeting at 7:10 PM.